Welcome to Module 5, Balance Scorecard and Benchmarking. First, let us understand about traditional performance measurement system. Well, imagine yourself that you were running a business before 2 to 3 decades. If anyone wants to say that you are running a good, you're performing so well in the business and you're becoming successful, what is the performance measurement tool that they were using? What is coming in your mind if you say performance? Yes, it's nothing but profit. If your business is making good profit, then one can say that you're performing well. If the business performance is measured through financial measures, that's nothing but traditional performance measurement system. So let us see in detail about it. The traditional techniques which were used by the organizations, which are primarily concentrating on the financial measures like return on investment or the net profit and earning per share, in order to measure the performance of the business, is nothing but traditional performance measurement system. So these techniques were always looking backward. In the sense, the organization used to focus on the past financial performance. Based on the past financial performance, they used to measure the performance of their organization. But this sort of only financial performance is not adequate in order to evaluate the current generation information age-based companies. So we can know from this that there is a drawback in the traditional performance measurement system. So let us understand further about it. That is the drawbacks of traditional performance measurement system. The main drawbacks are the measures which were used in the traditional performance are too financial. They did not consider about the non-financial information. The measures are not customer driven. It is always based on the financial aspect and the seller aspect. It's not based on the customer aspect. And it's not clearly mentioned how each and every departmental measures are linked to the company's objectives. And the measures which were used were so irrelevant because only the financial aspect were taken, and it's not mentioned about the buyer's aspect, that is they used to produce the products and sell it to the market than creating the products as per the needs of the customers. So, some of the experts felt that there are certain drawbacks in the traditional performance measurement. They cannot actually determine the performance of an organization. Therefore, they came up with certain attributes or the qualities for a good performance measurement system, which we will be discussing in this slide. So let us see what are the main qualities if you want to say that this system is perfect to measure the performance of a company. The one quality is that the system should have a conceptual framework. It's nothing but a blueprint which guides the organization about how to measure their performance. The other quality is that the system should mention the effective internal and external communications, and it also clearly should assign and should assign the roles and responsibilities to its employees, and the employees should understand for whom they are accountable and for what their accountability should increase as per their results. And the system should also provide the intelligent information to the top management for decision making, and it should not just compile the data and give. And the system should be framed in such a manner that there should be a proper linkage between the performance of employees and also towards their compensation, rewards, and recognition. The system should be framed in such a manner that it should be so positive but not punitive. Punitive is nothing but it should not be framed so high where it is not realistic to be understood by the common man. And the most important measurement tool is that it should disclose the results in progress towards the employees, customers, and stakeholders in a clear manner. So these are the attributes that how a good performance measurement should be. Keeping all these criteria as qualities, so balance scorecard was implemented. So let us see about the balance scorecard. Well, balance scorecard was implemented in the year 1992 by the Professor Robert S. Calvin and David P. Norton in the Harvard School of Business. So let's see what is balance scorecard. Balance scorecard is nothing but it's a strategic plan. It's a systematic and strategic plan. It's nothing but it is a performance measuring tool or performance management system which is used by the business. Why it is used by the business is in order to align its business activities to their vision and strategy so that they can monitor the performance against the strategic goals. In simple words, we can say that balanced scorecard is nothing but it's a new concept. It's nothing but the balancing between all the aspects, not just the financial. So balance scorecard, as it's a performance measurement tool, it also retains the characteristics of, even though it is a new concept, it also retains the characteristics of traditional performance measurement techniques. As you can observe in the picture, there are four perspective, that is financial perspective, customer perspective, internal process perspective, and learning or growth perspective. So let us see how the balance could be maintained by the organization in order to be successful and what it has to take care so that the measurement or a performance measurement could be actually measured under this VSC. First thing is financial perspective. As the name itself says, the company, in order to be successful in their financial perspective, definitely it should look into that, how the entity should appear to their stakeholders. And to reach its vision, how it has to think about how the company should appear to their customers. And as per the internal process perspective, it should see that to satisfy the stakeholders, how the internal process should actually how the entity should master their internal process. About the learning or growth perspective, to reach its vision, it has to see how its entity should actually sustain its capacity to change as well as to improve. So let's understand this with an action plan. As I told you, there are four perspectives, that is financial, customer, internal process, organization capacity is nothing but learning or growth perspective. So how can one business can enhance its financial perspective or customer performance or internal performance? Let's understand. In the financial performance, the organization should first focus on lowering the cost, increasing its profitability, as well as increasing its revenue. About the customer, it has to focus on to lessen the wait time of the customers as well as to increase the customer retention. In the internal process, it has to focus on internal process efficiency so that how they can improve the process of the production efficiency as well as how to cut down the process time. As per the learning or growth or the organization capacity, it has to focus on the employees' knowledge as well as the skills. Also, it should focus on the tools and technologies and how it can improve. You can observe the linkage between all these things. If there is a proper linkage on the usage of this all four perspectives, then we can measure the actual performance of any organization. So let us see in the next video in detail about these four perspectives.